What's up, everybody? I'm Sabrae.
I'm Yatta.
And this is No Disclaimers Podcast. Okay, let me give a round of applause to us, to all the listeners and the viewers.
Well, I was about to say, this is the Real Nigga Report.
This is the Real Nigga Report. No, but first of all, I know that we look a little
bony today.
A little bony.
A little thin.
Shout out to Sean. Sean is not here. He had a family thing he had to attend to last minute. So he is going to call in, though, for the Real Nigga Report in a few. So let's just get that out the way. Please show Sean some love because he's going to feel fired, as always, when he's not on the show. And then, no, it was not because he was drunk last week.
Right.
Make sure y'all check out that episode. It was hilarious.
Shout out to Sean's sobriety. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he is sober today. He's helping. He's not hungover. He's helping out the family.
Yeah.
You know, black men in the family are really needed. And
you know, they are the
support the family, you know, when they're the cornerstone, like you said. You think we should? Let's call Sean.
Let's call Sean
for the Real Nigga Report. Let's get the Real Nigga Report first.
Let's call Sean. Watch he don't answer or something stupid.
Hold on, Hold on, Sean. Hold on. Let me get your music queued up, okay?
Of course, ladies.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Oh. Hold on. Okay. The music is queued up. You don't hear it, but it's here.
Okay.
Let me turn him up a little. All right, Sean. The Real Nigga Report. Let's go.
Go.
The Real Nigga Report. No Disclaimers Podcast. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
All right. On this segment of the Real Nigga Report, I got a good one. This is about Joseph Blankson. He was a Nigerian man. Y'all heard?
Yeah.
Because if you haven't heard, I'm going to tell you anyway.
Okay.
All right. So his boat that he was actually on, it was capsized, and he basically jumped in the water and managed to pull 13 people out of the river.
Okay.
Right. Did he pass away?
Yeah, so the crazy thing is, he was the only casualty. He was a father of two, and basically he was making trips back and forth. He was I guess he was like a swimmer or, something, crazy, but he was like the Harriet Tubman of the river. So basically, he was transporting people back and forth, and when he went to go attempt to save the 14th person, basically, he passed away just due to exhaustion, and he drowned. So,
damn.
That's crazy. So, you said what?
Where was this at, and why was this fine black man in the water like that? We'll swim like that.
He was in the boat, and it just capsized, and then he just basically just said, "Okay, I got it. I'm going to take accountability. I'm going to, reach out, and try to save as many people as I can." And he saved 13 people. And on the 14th attempt, basically, he just drowned because he was just exhausted. And he's the only casualty, so everybody else lived. But he basically gave his life to save 13 people, and he left 2 young, children behind. So I thought that was dope. That's any man that is that selfless to put his life in jeopardy to save another person's life that they don't necessarily know. I think that's super dope.
This is a black man, right?
Yep, Nigerian man.
Yeah, he's from Nigeria.
Shout out to my real Africans.
Yeah, Port Harcourt is in like southern Nigeria.
Oh, somebody did they homework.
Okay,
Globe.
You need to do the Real Nigga Report over the phone all the time.
I gotta come correct.
Okay, geography. Yes, geography.
Okay, Sean.
I'm not drunk this week.
You know what? Shout out to Sean's sobriety. Yes. I told y'all. Yes.
We missed you this week, Sean.
Oh, your presence has missed it.
Yes.
Missed it. You know what? Maybe I'm drunk.
Yeah. So shout out to him and shout out, to his family, because those are now, 2 children who don't have a father. But what I can say is, I'm not a family member, but they can be proud when they grow up and understand the story. They can say, hey, my dad, he was a real life hero.
He died a hero.
He was a hero.
Absolutely.
For sure. Thank you so much for that, Sean. That was definitely a good Real Nigga Report. I mean, strong black men, we are so needed in the community, as you can see,
Real nigga salute. I'm with it.
Yeah, we definitely have to step up our game, because I feel like, some of us are lacking, and I'm not pointing fingers, myself included. We really have to, if we say, we're strong, we're black, and we have to protect our families, we have to show our wives, our girlfriends, our children, we have to lead by example.
Absolutely.
Yes. Anything else you want to add for the show?
No Disclaimers podcast. Tune in.
One more thing.
The best show in the DMV.
One more thing, Sean. What did you listen to the Nicki album?
Fire.
What would you grade it on a regular grade scale? A, B, C, D, and E.
Is it an A, B, C, D, E?
Yeah.
Scale or 1 to 10?
A, B, C, D, or E?
I give it are we doing pluses and minuses?
I was waiting for that.
Plus or minus, yes.
Only because, like, because B would seem too high. I would give it a B minus.
Okay. I can. And
look, no disrespect, I don't listen to women rappers like that, and I'm a rapper. I'm in the industry, so for me to be jamming it, I feel like she did her due diligence. I like the features on there, and I feel like she was really like spitting. Like none of that corny shit that she's been doing on like some of these features like in the past 2 years. I've been listening to it. Like if you're friends with me in Apple Music, you can see all the music I listen to. It's been in rotation.
Okay. Sean, I just want you to know that this feels like when they called Shine in jail and then he spit on the Confessions remix. This is what this feels like.
Oh yeah.
Hey, give a freestyle, Sean.
Hey yo.
Okay.
Bust it.
Oh. Lil Yatta and Sabrae got me on the phone. Macaulay Culkin Home Alone.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sean. We will see you soon. I hope everything is well on your end. Yes, I hope everything is good with your family. Make sure you handle that, take care of that. And yeah, we'll see you.
All right, babes. Appreciate y'all.
All righty. Bye.
All right.
Oh, Sean is so sweet. He was so generous with Nicki Minaj and gave her a B minus.
You know what? You are petty. So and I'm sitting here looking at your brain like...
She was like, can I add plus and minus? Oh, I did. Okay, so let's do good and bad. Nicki Minaj album, Queen. Let's start with you because you just want to...
Oh my God, we're not gonna start. No, I agree with Sean. I would give it a B minus. I thought that was a pretty good assessment. Like I said earlier when we talked, I saw a Forbes article that reviewed it, and the headline actually reflected exactly how I felt about the album, and basically said that it was a solid 10-song album hidden inside a 19-song mess. Now, I wouldn't call it a mess per se, but I do feel like there's probably like a good solid 10 tracks on there that I would actually consistently bump. I do feel like it was a little overstuffed to where it's like 19. Like we didn't really need the 19, honestly. Like it's kind of like how you said with the Drake album. Like, you know, it was just like trying to get everything on there when you really didn't have to. But it's like I get it. You know, you got content, you want to put it out there. The worst thing you could do, I mean, as an artist for yourself, is have content that you feel is solid and then you sit on it for so long it no longer becomes relevant. So I get trying to get everything on there, but honestly, it wasn't necessary.
What was your favorite song on there?
I really liked, I thought Barbie Dreams was hilarious. Because, you know, she did a Dreams remix back in like 2007 on mixtape. That did slap, though. So I felt like it was very reminiscent of that. I liked Hard White. Ganja Burns, of course, was a nice opener.
That was my favorite one.
That was a nice opener.
Let me play Hard White real quick. Hold on.
Work hard just to get her right.
This doesn't sound like it came out in 2012. To be honest. Doesn't it? It doesn't sound like very dated to you?
No, I don't feel like it sounds dated.
I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I gave it a C minus.
But Running
only
High
because,
was cool too. But
what is it?
I said Running High was cool too. You said C minus. And
if you say so. Okay, so I'm not really a Nicki album fan. I'm just not. I'm not. I like her on features. Yeah, I just don't like her on albums. I don't like her singing. She sings a lot. Let me start with the good. So I think it was well done. I think that its sound quality was good. I like the cover art. First of all, I'm going to need my titties to be sitting
them titties
like that.
Are sitting like a high chair,
like,
okay?
I'm going to take this album cover to the doctor when I go get a boob job. It's like, no, I'm not getting a boob job. I'm just saying. They are sitting. Like, that's wild. Ain't no tape or nothing. Like, that's crazy. But good cover art, good bars. I feel like she really spit some good bars on here. The lyrics were good. Bad, too long, like you said. Didn't like the features that much. I can't name one really good feature. With The Weeknd was cool. The Weeknd had a cool feature on this. Sway Lee, everybody liked that, but I didn't really like that song. I feel
like he OD'd on the falsetto. Okay, it was a little too falsetto-y for me, and I absolutely love Sway Lee, but it was a little bit too much. But I love Ariana Grande. I like their collabs. I tend to float towards their collabs. Like
they're top 40, I guess. I'm not a top 40 person all the time,
but I just mainly because I've become such an Ariana Grande fan because my daughter, like, she's obsessed with her. So.
Okay, yeah.
But it's like I've heard like several of their collabs that I actually do like. So,
yeah, I think that a lot of her beats sound outdated. I don't think that it should sound like the music that's out. Like I was saying earlier, like it shouldn't sound like exactly what you hear today. But artists of her caliber should be pushing the sound forward. And I think that only Ganja Burns kind of does that a little.
Okay.
But that's just me. I
can respect that. I can respect
that. Speaking of queens, the LA Rams has 2 male cheerleaders now.
Oh, the dancers.
The dancers or whatever. And I just want people out there, shout out to the LGBT community, the alphabet community, because I don't be want to disrespect y'all and not have all the fucking letters.
How many fucking letters are in it, though, now? Because I feel like at one point it was like LGBT, and then it's like...
Now it's Q, and then it's other
MNOP.
things.
Like, there's like some more.
Yeah, and no disrespect, it's just a lot. It's a lot to keep up with because I know it's evolving. It just become more normalized, so I get it, but bear with us.
Acronym is getting long as shit. Like...
yeah. But... yeah, they have the dancers on the NFL now, and I just want y'all to know that the LGBT community, that they're not propping them up, I don't think. I think that they're using this as a tactic to kind of take away from the conversation of what are they going to do? Are they going to kneel? Are they going to stay in the locker room?
Absolutely.
Are they going to stand?
A distraction.
Yes, and that changes the narrative, and I think that it's so fucking smart of them to do, because a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, we got to support the NFL now because they are opening up to the LGBT community and, like, stuff like that. But,
and that's all it is a smoke and mirrors tactic, honestly. Yeah. You're going to be focused on that and forget that we really aren't supposed to be partaking in any of this bullshit.
I'm still boycotting.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I think most of us are. So continue to boycott, shout out to them for getting that look. Unfortunately, they had to get that look like a backhanded compliment type shit. But
right. Absolutely.
It is what it is.
Yeah, not slick.
Not slick at all. And I hope Colin Kaepernick uses that whole, that thing with the EA Sport game.
Oh, yeah, taking his name out of the, really?
With that lawsuit that he has with the NFL. Like, just to prove that they are
that it's intentional. Exactly. It's a targeted situation, because what do you gain from that?
Right.
Like, honestly, it's not like that's giving him, like, publicity. Like, like, it's in the song. If you want to use the song, use the song. It's not a curse word. Yeah. Like,
before we get into the yada yada with Yatta, I do want to talk about the article that came out on Hot New Hip Hop that talked about artists talking about the music industry. And then the music industry last year, 2017, brought in $43 billion. And the artists brought in only 12% of that. And that was mostly in tours.
Right.
And actually, that was only a 5% increase from the year 2000 in what they were getting.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just want to talk about that for a little bit because Leor Cohen, one of Def Jam's first executives, made a remark on that. And everybody knows how I feel about black ownership and making the most money from the things that we dominate the most in, whether it be sports or whether it be music, whatever industry that we dominate in, we should be also controlling it.
And Dame Dash had a lot to say about Leor.
Shout out to Dame. I really fuck with Dame. A lot to say.
Like, man, my man, why you don't go capitalize off some rock bands or some, you know what I'm saying, some shit like that.
But he been talking about people, these white Jewish people in the industry. He been talking about it, but years ago, people would just be like, oh, Dame is crazy. Oh, he just mad because Jay did business with them and not him. But he's been saying this stuff, even about what is that, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. And then Leor tried to act like he didn't even know who Dame was. And it's like, you know,
that's some bullshit.
Kindly cut the shit. Thanks.
But this goes to, I'm sure Leor makes more than 99% of the people in the industry that he controls. But hear this clip when Charlamagne, he was on a Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne was basically asking him, isn't it hypocritical? Because his previous question was, if a person is promoting drugs, because he was talking so against, like, oh, I don't like that they're promoting drug usage. It's lame. It's all of these negative things, and he doesn't support it. And then Charlamagne asked him, well, you will still do business with him. Like, you'll still push them as an artist. Isn't that hypocritical if you disagree with it? And here's what he had to say.
Upon people.
But I'm saying that's hypocritical, though? You're saying
it's opportunistic.
Yeah.
I got people to feed. Wow. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him.
You really tried to play that.
Bring his name up. I don't even know him. So
y'all made a lot of money together.
Made a lot of.
But yeah, just the fact that, like, yeah, he admits, like, it's opportunistic, yeah, but you know,
right.
I gotta feed my family. I gotta send my kids through college and make generational wealth for my family.
So hence it's hypocritical.
Yeah.
And stop playing like you don't know who Dame is. That's just like utmost disrespect for somebody to say some shit like that. Somebody you definitely got money with, and now it's like, oh, who's Dame? I don't even know him. Like, oh, okay.
So as a person though who's been in the industry in this area and like who knows a lot of people in the industry, have you seen people complain about maybe not making money off of the work that they've done or being in these, like, I guess 360s or fucked up deals?
Not around here, but they get offered them.
Yeah.
Like the deals that have been on the table here for people in the music industry, a lot of times the ones who, and I'm not talking about like the recent peoples, like the Cuter Fools and stuff like that, but like in the past, the deals be on the table, but they be shitty deals.
Right.
They're manipulative deals where you end up basically being the workhorse, but the executives, the label, they're the one who make all the money. So I'm not surprised to see those numbers come up the way they are because, to be honest, album sales have never been a cash cow for
I feel like they were before,
but not a cash cow though. Like you can make money off of them, but a lot of these artists, majority of revenue typically come from touring or endorsements, promotions, things like that. Your appearances, your shows you're doing locally when you going and you pulling up on these club spots and stuff like that. Like the album sales are kind of on the smaller scale as far as bringing in revenue, and that's sad because. But a lot of that comes also from, this wave of piracy. See, nowadays we don't really have to deal with that per se because we have all these streaming sites. You get all the music, you pay a flat fee per month. But like going back in the day when it was CD sales, people wasn't trying to do that. They was bootlegging them things. So,
but now I think it's like it's almost just as hard with streaming to pull these numbers because I think it's like 1,500. Like one song has to
1,500 streams.
Yeah, streams for one one.
But it could be one song though. Is the kicker though? That's where it gets you at because like back in the day, you sell an album. Each CD sale counts unless you're buying 20 of them on one receipt. But each CD sale counts, so it's like you bought it whether you listen to it or not. You bought it. Nowadays, you have to actually listen to these songs. Right, you have to play these songs. But the swindle is now the artists are dropping singles a year before the album.
True.
So the album is already doing numbers because those single sales, whereas back in the day, you would buy a single by itself that would count as sales, and then you bought an album when it dropped by itself and the sales were separate. Now they intertwine the two.
But I really do, because albums are still being pushed, I think that money is being made off of the albums. I think the albums...
Yeah, the artists aren't making the money.
But they are just not right.
Yeah, they make money. It's not a cash cow for the artist. The artist is the one not making the money, despite the fact that they're the one pushing the product.
And then, Leor Cohen, by the way, he invented the 360.
Wow.
According to people in the industry, they say
it makes sense, to be honest. It makes hella sense. But they changed the streaming because, I think like 2016... According to the RIAA, only like 2 albums went platinum. Because nobody's buying albums anymore. So that's when they we got to find a way to count these streams towards that now because without these numbers, it's like, okay, with all this is piracy and downloading, everything is so easily accessible now with the digital age that it's like, okay, we have to count this stuff towards something. but it's never been designed for the artist to make a whole lot of money. I think they get like cents.
Yeah.
Like change, like 12, 11, like some slight shit per like.
Well, the thing is, that whole thing with the artist making, especially when it comes to hip hop, because hip hop is the biggest genre, the most lucrative genre in the music industry right now. And but when it comes to the fact that our artists, who are most of them in hip hop are black, making 12%, that's our fault. To be honest, that's mostly our fault, because it's no way in the world that we dominate the hip hop industry. We created. Hip hop is only 45 years old. I think I saw someone post something like that this week, that this week it became 45 years old. We allow outsiders always to come into our industries that we're dominating, and they control it.
And infiltrate our shit and run it, and we're just... And
we hand it right to them.
But you know what? But a lot of that comes from, I think it stems from just like ignorance of the industry, of what goes on. Like people just, like you look at all these documentaries, you think, not even beyond hip hop, but just black artists in general. You go look at these stories, these New Edition stories and these TLC stories, and you see that these groups end up broke because they see record deal or record executive and they don't know any better, and they're young and their parents don't know any better. All they see is dollar signs on the way out the hood. They don't have anybody on their side legally reviewing these contracts that they're getting themselves into, not realizing they're getting ripped off because they just think, well, this person, the Temptations had their deal and they got money, or this person got their deal and they got money, so they
look like they have money.
It looks like it's just dollar signs, but they don't really understand the ins and outs of the industry and how it's never designed for you to be the rich one. That's why all these artists are getting like other things. They're starting businesses, they're getting endorsements and stuff, because they got to get that coin from somewhere. Because the industry executives are ready to rape you for that money. Like,
I mean, and then we're teaching our children, not me and you, but generally, we can't wait to invest our children's whole lives into being an athlete or being in front of the TV. I mean, in front of the camera or behind the microphone, singing and entertaining. And these Jewish people, these white people, they're teaching them how to make money off your kids.
Right.
They're teaching them how to be behind the scenes, so you're not wrecking your body and risking your life every week, and that way you can make the same money as LeBron James or whoever else, and you're behind the scenes.
Right.
With all your memory intact when it's time to retire. With all of your, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, they pitch that dream to us, like to these black parents with these talented children, and it kind of paints this image to where it's like, oh, well, this kid gonna do this, and then we all gonna be set for life. So they thinking about themselves too. Like, I ain't gonna have to work. He gonna make, basically in this it's a pressurized situation, and you're not realizing that you're pushing that energy off on not only onto your child, who is a talented one, but I mean, like it make them ripe for the picking. Because they see that energy and they like, well, we can definitely get them, because all they care about is getting that bag.
And we have to teach our kids ownership.
That's why I will not put my child in that industry, no matter how much she wants to be a Disney star. Like, she wants to be on TV so bad. She wants to be a YouTube sensation. She wants to be, and she has a star quality about her. But I just would never want to put that type of pressure on her. Sometimes you just want your kid to be a regular kid.
Absolutely. Absolutely, especially in a wicked industry like that. And my thing is, it's nothing wrong with putting your kid in sports or in dance or in singing lessons or whatever. But I hate when parents bank everything on that. Because you have such a small chance. I think Dr. Boyce was talking about it this week. He says you have a greater chance to be struck by lightning than to make it in the NBA or the NFL or a pop star or whatever. But we keep putting our children on that path. And then when they work on that their whole lives and they get to the point where, because most of them are not going to make it, then they fall into a deep depression.
Right.
They're suicidal. They're drug addicts.
And the ones who do, they peak early because they're young. It's like when you get older, it's hard to differentiate that child star from this person who's trying to be an adult now. Like, you was little Bow Wow. Like, who you think you are now? Like, just not to say it's necessarily him, but just to throw a name out there. Like,
as fuck.
Yeah, he be wilding. Like, but it's like, that's what comes with the territory, because they peak early. And it's like, now you've did a whole life work of worth, and like by the time you was 15, 16 years old, so it's like, okay, now you grown, and it's like, boy, bad little bad, like, get your ass out of here.
I just don't want people to have money for football training and equipment, but when it comes to tutoring, I ain't got money for that.
Right. But you're trying to invest in something that you think is going to be a cash cow and pay off. But I mean, hell, your child education and advancement,
hell yeah,
mentally, is also going to pay off for them, and that should be your goal. Your goal shouldn't be to live off your kids. Your kids don't owe you nothing. They didn't ask to be here. But a lot of the parents who do that have that mentality, like, oh, I took care of you. Now it's time for you to know. No, Mom, I didn't ask to be here.
And even if people do have that mentality, why risk it on something with horrible possibilities?
Right, like, especially like football or something.
That's not smart.
Right, and then they turn them got CTE and shit.
Yeah, well, and then they still slaves because they can't even stand up for what they believe in. They're not obligated to stand for the national anthem in their contract, but because they're in a slave industry where they can't fight for their own rights or protest for their own rights, they're essentially
they're forced to shut up and play. Basically, is the energy.
Yeah, but if y'all, I'm interested to see how these players react during the national anthem, though. During the regular season games, I'm so done. I'm just gonna look at the news and see what they did.
Right, it's just like the whole narrative on that has changed so much, and it's disgusting.
It is
like,
but don't be fooled. Like, I don't want people to be fooled by these narrative changes with the whole dancers that are going to be for the LA Rams.
The distracting dancers.
Yeah. But yeah, so right now we have, let me get the music ready. Okay, Yatta with your intro. We got Yatta with Yatta. This is a segment where Yatta breaks down current events, news, tea, whatever you want to call it. It's not always tea, but
sometimes it be tea.
Sometimes it be tea though. But we use these opportunities to learn from them, and try to present it to real life and learn from those things. And let's see what we got today, Yatta. What do you have for Yatta with Yatta?
I'm going to start out with the light and ease into the heavy. Okay, first of all, shout out my girl Tiana Taylor, because I love you and I love your vocals. But girl, that motherfucking wig, though, it came off in the middle of her performance, and she went P.D. Pablo on them peoples and swirled that motherfucker around like a helicopter, and I was inconsolable, honestly. Good sport, though. I gotta respect. I don't know why your wig wasn't secure, but hey.
First of all, Yatta.
I'm not going. I would just assume, because no, Tiana be popping the lock, and she be getting it. She be Yatta. In them dances. I need that.
When I was on the shade, I was on Instagram. I was on the shade room. I was watching that video with my mouth open the entire time. I was like, no, the fuck, her wig did not just come off mid-performance.
And that jump was just still attached to the back of her head, like it had the combs in the back or something. And she just twirled that motherfucker, kept it. But that's some good, that respect. Because as many bitches lose their wigs on social media and these videos and stuff, and they be so embarrassed covering their little scully with them little Meek Mill braids underneath. She just twirled that bitch around like she was P.D. Pablo, and she kept it moving. So sis, I got a lot of love for her. I can respect her being a good sport and not stopping the show. She just kept on dancing. I was like, hey.
I respect that. Also, I respect the dude who was fighting. It was another video that I forgot to send you. There were two guys fighting. I hate fight videos with black people, period.
Oh, you talking about the man with the toupee that came? A girl? Yes, that's on my Instagram story right now.
Oh, my God.
This man, we going to have to plug y'all with this, but this man, these dudes met in the street to brawl, and the dude got hit, and it looked like a little yarmulke, but it was like a toupee of like bush hair.
It's the man
right in the middle, and it was just like the little, you drop the top on it was a sunroof.
Yes,
and it came off, and it was just on the ground, and he was getting beat. And then he lost the fight too. So he lost his fight, and his wig glue was not secure.
He lost his self-esteem.
He was like,
as soon as that piece came off.
The power's in my head, nigga.
Please. I can't. No, but seriously. But go ahead, Yatta.
And in other news, we got Drew Hill is supposed to be reuniting, but no one can focus on that because they had like a little promo photo, and I think they're supposed to be like grouping up with that group Player, I believe. And my man on the end had some photoshopped shoes on, and I don't know why they thought in this analytical social media world that we was not going to see that them shoes was I don't know. First of all, what did he have on his feet that made them feel like, yeah, we got to Photoshop some Air Forces on you? Oh my Jesus.
I wonder what the before picture was.
Right. Did he just show up barefoot, or did he have the skippies with the... Like, what did he have on where they was like, you know what? And I don't even feel like they was a left and a right shoe. I feel like it was like two left jumps. Like, and that's what made it so hot. It's like, hold up, are these real shoes?
Are you sure, though, that it wasn't like someone on the internet who did that?
I don't know, but I have never seen any photo that wasn't the Photoshop shoes photo. So I'm kind of concerned. Yeah. I am concerned. That's worrisome.
Well, in their defense, their fan base would not have noticed. It was the young crowd.
I'm sorry. I would have noticed because them things just... I told you, it looked like two left shoes. And I'm just like, why does this nigga look like he walking in a circle? Like,
did you notice it right away? Because when I first saw it, I didn't notice. When I opened
the picture, it's like something was off. And I was like, something's off. But first I was looking like, where's Jazz? The big one. I was like, where's Jazz? I was like, where's Jazz? You know, the one who did the tell me leap and his shit ain't clear the ground that much. But then I seen them shoes and I was like, you know what? I'm going to close this and I'm going to reopen this. And these shoes are not going to not be real. And they was still not real.
Okay.
Woosah. Okay, moving on though. So, you know, Mike Brown, the 18-year-old kid who got killed by the police officer in Ferguson.
Yes.
His mother, Leslie McSpadden, is running for Ferguson City Council now. Cool. And she talked about how, you know, she's pretty much just been having to heal. And she feels like this is just a step for her to take. Yeah. You know, to kind of like work towards justice, really, like, you know, in situations like that, which is super unfortunate, but I think it's good and I think people should support her. And that's definitely a very interesting platform to have to stand on to go for any type of, you know, elected official in a city, considering, you know, she would definitely be about making changes as far as policing goes and profiling and things like that.
For sure.
I think it's a good idea. Just wanted to throw that out there.
I did see his thing on HBO, I think. He had a special where Mike Brown, it just broke down all of the details of the case. Yeah. Just like the Trayvon Martin one, I guess. I didn't see the Trayvon Martin one because I was really tuned into that during that time. So, but Mike Brown, it was a couple details that I was not aware of that did not come out with the court stuff and the media. You know, the media pick and choose what they be wanting to talk
Interestingly enough, that's been my stance with this Trayvon Martin case. And as somebody who followed it so heavily, there have been like a couple details here and there that have come out in this documentary where I'm like, wait, what? Like, it's like, you know, generally that they tried to paint the picture, pretty much put him on trial for his own murder, demonize him and stuff. But for them to really insinuate, like, for example, that he was buying the ingredients to make lean. And I'm like, you know, far be it for me to be a codeine queen, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that watermelon Arizona and Skittles don't go in I don't feel like that's in the recipe. But,
you know,
if he'd have bought some Jolly Ranchers...
I mean, but
Sprite.
Regardless.
But I mean, I'm just saying, then you could at least insinuate that. But it's like, now you're just making shit up. Like, come on, man.
They're doing that they did that for the jury, you know, to paint him as someone who wasn't deserving of life anyway. Because even if he was on his way to go buy crack, he did not deserve to
be profiled and killed by a wannabe RoboCop.
Exactly. And that's what they try to do, trick you in the media.
That's what they always do. That's why they'll show the killer, the person who killed him, they'll show their high school graduation picture, but they'll show a mug shot of the victim. How does that make sense?
Exactly. Well, go ahead, Yatta.
But also, I don't know if y'all remember Jordan McNair. He was a 19-year-old kid, University of Maryland, a football player, the one who died back in June from a heat stroke. The University of Maryland's head coach and a bunch of their athletic staff is actually suspended now. And they're investigating what happened because, like, I think he died, 2 weeks after he had, like, a heat stroke. And he was in the hospital. He was hospitalized and he passed away. But it's like they're investigating into, like, the practices and the things that they have going on if anybody ignored any signs of that. But in the meantime, they did suspend their head coach and a bunch of their athletic staff, too. So,
that's because they really don't give a fuck about our boys. Like they don't give a fuck about our kids.
Right,
as
long as you're performing. And that's crazy because, like, you have to pay attention to that type of stuff. Like, you got these guys out here, and these been some hot-ass days. Like, you got them out there in the heat. You're not making sure they're properly hydrated. Somebody dropped the ball somewhere.
Yeah, and again, it's just like when it comes to schoolwork or being in a class, they're kind of like, oh, you know, make sure you go to class. Oh, you missed another class. Oh, you better make it up. But when it comes on that field, I don't care. Get out there, be toughened up, do this and do that. And
then when they don't get it right, their punishment drills that they give them, it's like you can't have people out in the heat like that. You have to make sure that they're properly hydrated and that they're taken care of and they get the rest that they need. You can't expose people to the elements like that.
But to play devil's advocate here, is this generation getting softer? Like, Because I feel like this didn't really... Well, I can't say that can't feel like it didn't happen, but because, the media is more, like, accurate and more...
I don't think we had all the avenues to expose a lot of stuff. So I think that, honestly, the times aren't changing. They're just becoming more apparent because we have more avenues to expose it. So it's like... And in the past, we didn't have social media and camera phones to capture every little thing that happened. So nowadays, it seems like everything is more prevalent when the reality is it's always been happening. We were oblivious to a lot of things because the news networks, that media is biased and controlled, and they're going to control whatever they filter to you, and you don't have any other outlets to see what's really going on. So
yeah, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Really, I would not want my son, if we have another child and it happens to be a boy, I don't want my son to play
when y'all have another child.
I mean, you never know what the cards will hold. I don't be feeling like it. I be like, it's so much work.
She said I'll be feeling like it. No, I feel you. I never wanted my son to play football. He doesn't play football, and I'm glad for that. Yeah. Only sport he's ever really, really been interested in is boxing, but he wasn't necessarily trying to, like, compete. Yeah. So it's like he got into it more so learning the techniques, getting good at it, but not necessarily wanting to get in the ring all the time or spar or have bouts and stuff like that. So I'm glad. I mean, we got equipment at home. It's a heavy bag in that garage. Boy, go out there. I mean, I boxed, so I taught him the fundamentals, and then he was going the headbangers. He was doing his thing. He go out in the garage when he get his little attitude, and that's how he vents his frustration. Yeah, so I'm like, put the gloves on and go get it off.
It's just like, I wouldn't want... I know that if we have a son, he's going to be in some type of football unless Chris changes his mind, because he's just like... He played football, so he knows the positive
play like
side.
badminton or something.
What's that? Badminton?
It's like the fake-ass tennis game, but it got the little birdie with the little rubber ball and then the net on it, and you just...
No, my son's not going to be a bitch. I'm just saying...
Wow, badminton takes skill!
I don't know. No disclaimers podcast. I don't want my son to be a bitch. I just don't want him to have long lasting effects of a sport that's so physical. Right. And it's really not worth it at the end of the day. You risk your life in hopes to, a lot of them risk their lives in hopes to be in the NFL, and the NFL don't give a fuck about you. They'll draft you, and as soon as you're not performing,
they will replace you. Trade you, replace you, and you better hope you can get on somewhere else. So protect your skull, because that CTE shit is real.
Super real.
Probably why you see so much damn violence. Domestic violence situations with NFL players, because these niggas be having concussions. I'm sure.
Yeah. And violence. Concussed. By the way, though, black violence in this country is down. Just nationwide, black violence is down. But they always point to Chicago. That's why every time you hear about, black on black crime this, and y'all need to worry about black on black crime.
How many people got shot over that weekend?
73 people. Okay, so now we're talking about Chicago Police Department being crooked as fuck.
That's
73 shootings in one weekend and no arrest. The fuck?
Yeah, you know who did that, please. That was them feds in them unmarked cars shooting up these blocks and then making it seem like it's black people, because they have to keep peddling that narrative and they'll do it by any means. So I don't believe nothing about that shit sounds legitimate. Nothing about it makes sense. It doesn't add up. I know they got new math with Common Core math. I'm sorry, I've carried the one. This shit don't add up.
And dait you hear about that bait truck that they put in the black community?
Oh, yeah,
in Chicago,
with all the shit in it.
With the Christian Louboutins and the Jordans, trying to bait young black people
into crime.
To start stealing so they can lock them up. And people in that area are realizing that law enforcement is targeting this area, trying to get them to commit as much crime as possible so that they can exercise martial law.
Yep, and justify the reason. That's the thing. That all they want is a justification on the back end as to why they do what they do to us and treat us the way they treat us. So it's like they don't have any reason to go into it. So they're like, no, we gonna pull up some shit after. We're gonna be proactive with it, and then after the fact, we'll be like, well, look, they did this, so this is probably why. Like, no,
exactly. So that way they can keep pointing back to Chicago, because when they do that all Chicago is a code word for black people, and they always go back to that so they can paint us all in that realm.
Baltimore too.
You
seen the cop punching that dude? He got suspended though. That cop got suspended. I don't know what's gonna happen with him. But
I'm pretty sure they're gonna be fair when it comes to that brother, because he's black. I didn't see that same action when it comes to white officers when they exercise police brutality and being wild as fuck. And my thing is too, I see a couple football players, I seen a couple black celebrities Instagramming about that. And I find it a little strange that they can be so upfront and so, specific, and not just about police brutality in this country, but they're like, this incident, this guy, doesn't matter what he did before this video, which I'm curious about, by the way. But they're like, oh, it doesn't matter what he did before this video. He did not deserve this is to be hit like this. And this is this is police brutality at its finest. And I'm like, it's funny how y'all can come out against this black officer, but for a Darren Wilson or a Peter Liang or a Zimmerman, until white people tells you it's okay to talk about it, y'all quiet as fuck.
Right. Exactly. We need that same energy. Like, it wrong is wrong. It's right and wrong is wrong. And it doesn't matter. You're an officer of the law, black or white. You got to uphold the law. Yeah. And stop making these excuses like, oh, they human too. My thing is, we're all human. But yes, I'm going to hold you to a higher standard as a sworn public service officer, that you're supposed to have a little bit more discernment and a little more patience or whatever. It comes with the territory, because you did not have to take this job. So if you're that scared to where you feel like you got to wild on anybody for anything, because I don't care what that dude said to him from the video, and the video doesn't indicate that he didn't do anything physical to you, and that's the only thing that would warrant you putting your hands on him like that.
Well, nothing warrants that behavior, because from what I understand with all officers, if someone assaults you, now, of course, if there's a tussle, you can go back and forth. But say someone spits at you or hits you on good time, you have one good time,
right?
To
the
react.
Lady who did that to the cop at that
game at the football game, right? You have one good time to really retaliate or hit them,
right? You can't be out here just piecing this man up, and he never swung back. That's the thing. So you really didn't have you didn't have an incentive to do it in the first place. But let's play devil's advocate and say for whatever reason. But the comments on that are sick. White guys, well, maybe he deserved it. Yeah, he shouldn't have been disrespectful. And I'm just like, okay, so that's against the law. Like, maybe if he'd been respectful, he wouldn't have got his ass kicked. I'm like, okay, so keep that same energy the next time you rude to somebody and they beat your fucking ass. Do not go to the law because you feel like that's legal. If you disrespect someone verbally, then you deserve to get your ass whipped, right? So
I just want these black celebrities out here, if you didn't check these white officers who do the same thing, don't say shit about this man. Because I hate the hypocrisy. Because they know that white people will allow you to down another black person. But they won't allow you to do it to white people. And they're scared of that. So shut your mouth if you're not going to talk about all police brutality. Now, what I will say is, I wonder if the man snapped. Because that is an option. Especially because of black officers. And I'm not condoning it. He did some Bama shit and he should be punished for it, just like all of them. But another thing, too, is I'd be offended if he got punished and the white ones don't.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, he needs to be suspended with pay. Find out with that brother's psyche. Find out if he has some type of mental illness, because I think that job can create a mental illness. Everybody knows my fiance is an officer. He is as pro-black as they come. But if you do some nigga shit that's illegal, he's going to, more than likely, that's what he's going to handle that according to the law.
Right.
But there's so many situations where he didn't get into the department to write you tickets or to make your life a living hell. He wants to get guns and drugs.
Yeah.
Lots of guns and a lot of drugs. That's what he wants. That's his whole thing. And he'll pull over somebody for like a tail light or for speeding or something. Oh, nigga, mind you, a lot of black people, a lot of ignorant niggas, and I'm not going to say black people, a lot of ignorant niggas, they'll give the black officers the fucking blues. But as soon as their white counterparts come in.
Right. How you doing there, sir?
They are real respectful, like coons, and I really think that's wild.
Up. That's wild. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's some Bama shit. So he'll pull up, hey, how you doing? This is what it is. Wanting to give them a warning because they really don't want to do all that fucking paperwork. And they're like, man, you coon ass nigga, you bitch ass nigga, all this crime going on, and you Uncle Tom ass nigga.
And you was part of it, because at the end of the day, and this is coming from somebody who does speed. I mean, I feel like we all speed.
Yeah.
But the reality is this: if you got caught, nigga, you got caught.
If you're wrong, you're
mad that okay. My thing is, you like all this crime going on. Well, it's nothing that going on over here, and I saw your ass. So it is what it is. Like, let's not make a situation. I just feel like that behavior fucks me up because it's like all this legitimate violation of rights going on from law enforcement officers, and you was wrong. And you, like, I saw that with a guy. I saw a video. It was a black guy and a white cop. And the white cop really held it down because he was insulting and disrespectful to him. And I'm like, you did this video and this ain't it, sweetheart. It's like legitimate right violations going on out here. And you out here doing this shit for clout. And you think it's funny? He should have locked your dumb ass up.
My dude said that happens every single day.
He should have locked his dumb ass up.
And I know that you sign up for that, and I understand that. But as a human, I do kind of sympathize with dealing with that on a regular basis. This is like, damn, like, I don't know if I could deal with that type of shit. Yeah. So I just don't really think I can deal with that every single day. And I don't know if the brother snapped because you don't know what he deals with on a regular basis. Now, I will also say on the flip side of that, a lot of Baltimore Police Department is very corrupt. And they have a history of corruption.
I feel like the problem is you didn't really see anybody. It's other officers there, and it didn't really seem like anybody was really trying to stop it. That's what bothered me. Is it's like, okay, you know this dude is wilding. He might have snapped. Yes, at the end of the day, they are still human. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with that. Even though I do hold them to a higher standard because of the position they put themselves in, they still human beings. But I'm looking at you watching this happen, and you're not really doing anything to intervene, and you know he's wrong. So it's just like, come on, dog. Like, stop this.
Well, in New York, they let the, I think it was Eric Garner, they let the officer just straight up choke him out the entire time.
And that illegal ass, outlawed ass chokehold. And, you know, like, I just feel like, especially in situations where it's other officers around and you, like, come on, dog. Where's your due diligence? Like, you know this is wrong. You're sitting there watching it happen and these men end up dead.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to the officers who really go out there to do their jobs in a professional way, and the ones who have patience with these dusty niggas. And that's not black people. Dusty niggas is definitely a distinction. I applaud the white cop.
I actually saw he really kept his composure.
Too much props,
but I'm just saying he kept his composure in a situation where honestly I would have been ready to square up. So I'm just like he like, man, what the fuck, you dumbass nigga? Like he like how he was talking to him, and it's like he pulled you the one who didn't have your seatbelt on you. But he like, how you giving me a ticket for my safety? Motherfucker, the law is the law. All these click it or ticket ass shit you be riding by, and you get mad when you get caught doing some shit you ain't supposed to.
It's funny when I hear stories that my dudes say how, you know, he got recorded or whatever from pulling someone over and they record him the whole time talking shit, and he's like, oh, I'm glad you recorded. I just want to let your people know that you didn't have any tags, you didn't have a registration, your license was expired.
Yeah, and all of a sudden that phone probably go off like shit. You know, damn, my battery.
That is why, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing what I'm doing.
And you using your phone in the car. Like,
I mean, it's just like people can be in the total wrong and still be mad at the fact that they've gotten pulled over.
In this time where clout is everything.
Yeah.
Whereas they feel like they have to record everything, put everything on social media, and it's like you expose yourself for being a jackass because it's like you're wrong and you've recorded it, and now you put it on social media thinking we gonna co-sign with you, and we like, you look fucking stupid. This ain't it. This is not it. Stop. Like
100%.
It devoids the legitimate issues. That's what I don't like, is that there are legitimate issues out here that people have with corrupt cops, and you playing with one who's actually doing his job. Like, can you stop?
Right. It's not in the same boat. If you're done wrong in the system, by all means, like, you need to get justice. But if you are in the wrong, don't be mad at the officer for pulling you over for something that you
how you gonna
wrong.
pull me over because I ain't got no tags? Like, nigga, because you don't have no tags. Right. Why are you driving without tags? What did you think was gonna happen?
And then you get on top of that, you'll have someone who's absolutely dirty, because imagine motherfuckers be dirty and then swerving in and out of lanes, speeding, putting on brakes, get pulled over.
To drive like you dirty.
And look, and then it be people that be stopping on the side of the road or that come out their house. Why y'all got him on the ground like that?
Because he's like, tripping, sis.
And they be like, bitch, if you want these guns off the street, did you know this man had a gun? But you can't,
it's all kicks and giggles
that.
till he rob your shit.
Exactly.
Or that nigga without tags crashing to the back of your shit. And then you wondering why you can't get no money from it, because if he ain't got tags, he damn sure ain't got insurance. So when you mad because you handicapped as fuck and nobody paying for it, because your little liability policy ain't helping you out. And then you want to know why This is why.
I can. So, before we move on, before we end the show, I wanted to answer some of the questions that our viewers. We haven't gotten to the questions that the viewers sent. And viewers, make sure you send us in questions, and we will answer them anonymously. No. You send in the questions. Yes, we won't put out your name. Unless you want us to shout you out, then that's fine. But if you send us a question, we'll answer it as if you were anonymous. Send it to our DMs, either me, Yatta, or Sean, and we'll put it in this jar right here.
Let's keep it about the show.
I know, don't be asked about our personal life like that.
No. Let's keep it appropriate. Let's keep it show friendly. Let's not get regular.
I don't know. They can ask me about my personal life.
No, don't be like, so I'm trying to hit. Like, none of that.
Oh, no. I won't even put that. I won't even enter that in there.
No, you're probably going to get blocked.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. How many days per week should a married couple have sex?
You the one with the man. You tell me. Shit. Do they have jobs? First of all,
okay,
that matters.
Yes, let's just, okay. So most people
gainfully employed married couple.
I would say, first of all, it depends on the needs of your partner.
You freaky. It's like, nah.
And then if it's like two polar opposites, then you should compromise.
Right. I say, I would think that 2 to 3 times is pretty reasonable, and
I would say 3 to 4.
Look,
I'm
freaky.
If there's 7 days out the week,
curious. I just be feeling like niggas be tired.
No, don't get me wrong. There will be weeks where that always isn't met because of, you never know. Job schedules might be different. Stress and dealing with family issues, a lot can play a part. But I'm talking your average ordinary.
I will start here and say that every day is completely unrealistic. It's not going to happen.
You think it is?
Typically, I think it's kind of unrealistic. Like every day consistently.
I think that there are some freak animals out there.
But I feel like the vast majority, you'd be surprised. And honestly, this oftentimes comes from this, because I've had this conversation with friends before, and my guy friends will be the one man, 2 to 3, we good. Man. But the thing is, though, I think that some women, your average woman, not necessarily overly freaky, but not prudish neither, will probably be cool with that, but they feeling hold up, what you mean 2 to 3? Nah, that's too much free time for you to go elsewhere type shit. Nah, we gotta up it. Some of them have that really? Mentality. So, I
don't think that should be a factor.
I wouldn't either, but you'd be surprised.
In a relationship, you should not be worried about, if this is not enough, he's gonna go somewhere. How about you just figure out what's enough for him, and then... But then,
sometimes, my guy friends would be like, do you know, sometimes I just really don't feel like hitting. Sometimes I just want to lay there, or I might just want to hold her and go to sleep. And they'll think, oh, wow, you ain't trying to smash, or you must have got it from somewhere else. They're like, no, nigga, I'm just tired today.
Yeah, especially depending on the age. Because, and I'm not saying it, but as the older you get, the more responsibilities you have.
Right.
The less time or whatever that you might have. But also, let's be honest, and I had to learn this too, it doesn't take that long. Every day doesn't have to be an hour. You feel me?
And that's the problem that people don't seem to realize.
Sometimes you can throw a quickie in the mix.
Look, with these girls we got to do this 3-4 times a night. I'm like, bitch, you as unemployed. Look, I got a job, and I have work in the morning. I don't have time for this shit, bruh. You better get it while I'm still up, because I go to bed. Yeah. And I don't know what to tell you. This point is going to be some dead body sex.
But I feel like a lot of men complain, a lot of men, and as a barber, I just heard this. I talk to a lot of guys. I have a lot of male friends, and that be a big problem a lot. And then either it's a problem, or they just already take some defeat. When you in a relationship, you just don't really get none, I
think that's super wild too. You still gotta take care of your partner. Now, I think you should just have to find some sort of healthy medium where it's okay, look, I'm not trying to hump every day because I'm not. Yeah. Sometimes I just be tired and I just want to go to sleep.
I want to see what Sean has to say.
Right.
Let's call him.
Let's call him back.
We need some testosterone.
We need some male teas. We're gonna call Sean back.
Yeah.
And he better answer this phone too.
He's gonna answer. He don't be doing nothing. Well, he's doing something, but
it's gonna be a problem.
2 0.
That's so. Let me send this angry text.
He might be with
we
grandma.
Trying to call you.
He might be with grandma right now.
For some male input.
You know who you should ask? You should call Reese.
Oh my God.
Reese is Yatta's friend, like longtime friend.
Reese is gonna like not answer the phone. Look, I'm about to call you for the show. I have to text him first because
you can tell him when he called. When you call, be like, "Hey, we on the show."
I just want him to answer because I don't know. He might be out with a lady or something.
Yes, that's her real friend. Like not like her not my friend. Best friend that she smashed.
No, this is like I don't smash best friends. That's inappropriate.
Some people do. Did you even give him time?
No.
You said what?
Bruh.
Hey, Reese.
Hey, Reese. You are live on No Disclaimers Podcast.
Hey.
We want to ask you a question.
We just want to ask you a question.
We want to ask you a question for some male perspective.
Yeah.
What's up?
Okay, so how many times per week do you think that a married couple should have sex?
And this is a question given by our audience. They sent it to our Instagram DMs. Make sure you do that. Okay, Reese? How many times? How many days per week?
I guess it's 7 days out the week. I mean, as necessary as possible. We
need a number.
Right.
Give us a number.
I mean, it could be between, 7 to 20.
No, what? How many days out the week? Not how many times. Oh. You've been horn, dog.
20?
You horn.
5. Good solid 5 days out the week.
God damn, horn dog.
He must works out.
Maybe 4. I mean, Sunday's for the Sabbath.
But
Sunday's
you know what?
Sabbath, so I can respect that.
I fucking hate him so much.
So 4 to 5?
Yeah, 4 to 5 days out the week.
Okay. What about if she's on her period?
He'd be like, ew.
She gonna have to go check out with the Lord with that one. Hell nah.
You know what? Nah, he gonna still be trying to get the mouth.
Who running red lights?
Niggas do. I don't. I personally don't. But
not for me.
Yeah. It's not for me.
I mean, what's a red light? What does that mean?
It means stop.
Yes.
That's exactly what it fucking means.
He would caution more so.
He be doing running stop. I mean, what'd you call them?
Yeah,
running stops.
Running red lights.
California stops.
Rolling stop.
Thank
big
you.
Nasty.
Thank you so much, Reese. We needed some testosterone in the room. We needed a male perspective. We appreciate that.
I'm looking at you different.
Shout out to No Disclaimers Podcast.
Thank you, Reese.
All right, I'm out.
Bye. All
right. So, do you think that men usually typically require more sex than women?
Not all the time. I think that it's interchangeable because I've seen guys be like, damn, all she want to do is fuck. Like, goddamn. And then it's the girls like, all he want to do is fuck. So I feel like it's interchangeable. I think, weirdly enough, as much as I'm like, girl, 2 to 3 times we get, I feel like typically in my, former relationships and stuff, I feel like I be the horn dog.
Okay.
Like, dog, like...
But
you laying next to this nigga fidgeting like, man, do you not feel these cheeks on you, boy?
But do you think that it depends on the person? Like, I feel like, do you feel like, okay, so if he wasn't the one, you would have won. But if you were in a situation where he was the horn dog, do you feel like you would be too? Or is it like...
No, I would be with the shits. I feel like I would be with the shits. But, I mean, you never know, though.
That's true.
It might be like, I don't know. Maybe that subdued thing might be like the secret turn on for like the horn dog in a relationship versus like if he wants it more, it's like, damn, nigga, chill. Right. Like, it's like when you speed and then somebody speeds past you, like, fucking relax. Like, I don't know. But I feel like it's typically me. Like, I'm the whore.
Okay. Interesting. No, but that was a good question. None of us are married, so
I mean, you're practically.
But I guess I'm close. I'm close to it, but I'm not married. We're not married yet. So that's just what I think.
But I also think it well, never mind. If married, you would live in the same house. I'm like, well, if you're talking just relationship wise, it also depend on whether or not you live in together.
That is a fact. That's a fact. So, thanks for answering the question. This person did not want a shout out. So, shout out to you. You know who you are. Quickly, before we get out of here, because I almost forgot, we are in the DMV area for the people who are not from here. We just want to let you guys know if you are out there during the Klan rally today, that you are safe. enough news hasn't really emerged yet. I'm gonna look some up while Yatta talks about the findings that she saw earlier.
All I've managed to see was that the counter protesters far outnumbered the actual KKK rally protesters. So that's kind of interesting to me. The articles I've read on like New York Times and CNN, Washington Post and stuff have pretty much said that what's his name? Jason Kessler.
I don't know.
Was the one who organized it, essentially said he got a permit for 100 to 400 people for this KKK rally. And according to multiple news reports, it's like 20 to 40 of these, bam. It's like a small handful of actual KKK ralliers. But then the counter protesters also got their permits, and it's like 700 of them. So I think they were kind of, got a little bit humbled, to be honest, or maybe they realized that this isn't Charlottesville. And you get like in these further, smaller southern towns, and you can get away with this type of shit. But you bring something like that to DC, it might not go how you planned. So granted, you can't fully trust it. I wish I was more so in tune with someone who was actually there, because the media tends to slant these situations, and I wouldn't put it past them to slant it in the direction where it's like, oh, there was so many counter protesters, like they were being peaceful and the counter protesters were the problem. But honestly, they were just chanting. They had signs. Yeah. It didn't seem like anything got out of control. The police escorts that the KKK ralliers had separated the two groups with like metal barricade, like fence, like...
I would like to definitely hear, hopefully before we wrap, that we can hear from somebody who was down there. One of my girls from high school went, and she was very vocal about it. Actually, if you follow me on Instagram, we went live this week. I am paying attention because I'm always looking at the white supremacist media and seeing how they're trying to spin things. I was looking at I do believe that the anti-protesters or the counter protesters outnumbered the protesters, but they're trying to really minimize the outcome, the amount of people that showed up for, like, the white supremacists that showed up. So I want to see how true that is. I don't quite believe them. Because of the way that I can tell how they're wording it that they're trying to make you believe something more than probably what it actually is. Right. You know what I mean? I know how they be doing that little deceptive little headlines. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm just trying to see
with the where the logic lies and what civil rights they feel like white people aren't getting and need to fight for and have an advocate for or a voice for. It's like white people, like I told you, y'all want to be oppressed so bad.
No, it's
not fun. Like that's what I'm saying. You want what comes with oppression, which is the right to fight the system and complain about. Like you want I would rather not be oppressed and not have to fight any of these fights than to be oppressed to have this window to fight these fights. Like it's like there's no white plight that we all need to understand and sympathize with.
One of their main tactics is deception. And I think that whole, we're oppressed too, or we whatever, that's just a means of deception of what they really mean is we want to be able to dominate more. We can kill black people with impunity, but we want it to be more legal, or we want it to be, we feel like these Hispanics are going to outnumber us in 2050. We need to be able to control that. That is the plight that they're talking about. Not like equal rights in this country. It's never equal with them. Right, they want to dominate.
And my thing is, it's you're on the upper side of this, so it's like it's kind of ridiculous.
Well,
that's what it boils down to.
But they have to be, if you think about it, and that's why I don't take racism personally against white people, because I understand it. They have to be on the upside of things. They have to be on the far upside of things because
they're on the decline.
They're on the decline. So they have to be in order to have some type of superiority. And that's why they do these things. So shout out to people who went out. If you was about that life, I hope that you were out there. I've seen a lot of white people protesting, and I don't want black people to be fooled by that, because a lot of times they look at them as white allies, and they're not always white allies, because there are a lot of white supremacists that don't like white extremism. And there's a difference, because you have the Hillary Clintons, that's a white supremacist, and then you have the Donald Trump, that's a white supremacist extremist, or that supports that. They're two different things. You can have someone like I always use him as an example. The guy who owned the Clippers. The guy who was being racist. The phone calls came out. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about.
Donald Sterling. So he wasn't technically a racist because he loved black people. He was cool with all the people that worked under him, that worked for him. Right. But at the moment that it was Magic Johnson who was neck and neck of him, he was not supreme over him. And that's what makes you a white supremacist. That's kind of what differentiates the white supremacists and the racists or whatever. And I just want people to know that there are people that they're cool with white supremacy when you're at the bottom or whatever. They just don't like, especially white women, they don't like the white supremacy that also oppresses them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They don't like the white extremism oppresses them. The white supremacy, they still cool with that.
Yeah, because they benefit from that. But
exactly. They're just like, whoa, don't be all out loud with it. Like, don't be out here, flaunting it. Keep it undercover so that it maintains some type of control so that black people are still happy, but because they don't know that they're controlled.
Right, not realizing that we're the puppet masters.
Exactly. So, yeah, I just want people to be mindful of that. Did you have anything else, Yatta?
No.
Yes, I love this. I can't wait to find out what happened today out there. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for listening. Take the time out real quick. Yatta will show you her boobs if you do this.
Wow.
Make sure you subscribe. It's like, no, I'm just kidding.
So y'all want to stop pandering me to the audience or whatever.
I mean, I would do it if I was in a relationship. So.
You know what? You get on my nerves.
It's like, no, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, make sure you, yeah, she's going to show you, if you're looking on YouTube, she's got the shoulder. And, I'll show you my tattoo. It's like, no, I'm just playing. But no, yeah, so make sure you like and comment everything that we talked about.
Share,
please
click the
put
bell.
that in the comment section. Yes,
subscribe.
We
love feedback.
Because look, if you subscribe, then every time we do a new episode, it comes right up on your phone.
Right. As soon as you're going into it, it's gonna pop up.
Yes, because we do them like we try to keep it early, but we do it different times of day, so you might want to subscribe
and
for that.
Share. Like, I mean, don't be stingy. Your friends want the tea too.
Share the link on Twitter. If you share the link on Twitter, we will follow you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Sean too. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on No Disclaimers Podcast.
I have to say that to Sean first. No Disclaimers Podcast. Like,
he'd be so
he'd be so happy about it.